You are now standing on a street in Germany in the 1930s, in a place and at midnight on May 10, 1933, in Berlin, 40,000 people gathered to see the burning of books at the public square Opernplatz, where propaganda minister Joseph Goebbels spoke. You are right to allow the flames to consume the evil spirits of the past at this midnight hour. Books by authors German students. German students and essay loot Dr. Magnus Hirschfeld's library at the Institute for Sexual Science, May 6, 1933. In the spring of 1933, art dealer Alfred Fleck was forced to by brown shirts from the SA, the forerunner of the SS. Alfred Fleckheim had been one of the between wars most famous and successful art dealers. He had sold work of the greatest artists of the time, such as Pablo Picasso, Henri Matisse, Paul Klee and Max Ernst. Nazi propaganda had targeted Alfred Fleckheim for several years. He was accused of destroying German culture. When Fleckheim fled, he left his art gallery. Everywhere around us, we see the monstrous offspring of madness, rudeness, incompetence, and pure degeneration. What this exhibition shows awakens in horror within us all. Adolf Ziegler at the opening of the Antarktische Kunst exhibition in 1937. At the start of the summer of 1937, the Nazis embarked upon the extensive clearing out of art in German museums. All art that the party perceived as modern and abstract was seized. Works by artists of Jewish origin or by artists regarded as anti-religious were confiscated. It's like an ordinary factory. Wanda Landowska's home in Saint-Lô-la-Forêt outside Paris was described as a music temple. The Venus de Milo by Alessandros of Antioch. The sculpture, originating from between 150 and 100 war in 1939 and was hidden in the Château de Valence. To the Museum Jeu de Paume in Paris came thousands of works of art that had been looted in France. Hermann Göring visited the museum 12 times and picked out over 600 items for his collection. In total, over 22,000 stolen works of art were sent from the museum to Germany. One of the foremost works of art stolen in France was Johannes Vermeer's Astronomer, from 1668. Only 30 or so works by the artist have been preserved. The Several leading Nazis and organizations competed for the stolen objects. Adolf Hitler had issued a special order, Führer for Behalt, which gave him precedence over the stolen art, which was gathered together for the planned Führer Museum in Linz. Art historian Hans Posse, whom Hitler appointed as curator of the museum, picked out the most important works of art. Hermann In the east, the looting at the beginning. For us, it was of special pride to destroy the Talmud Academy, which was known as the most prominent in Poland. From the building, we threw out the large library onto the street and shipped it to the market. There, we set fire to the library, a fire that lasted for 20 hours. Lublin's Jews, who had gathered to view it all, cried loudly. Their complaints almost heaped upon us. Then we called in the military orchestra, and the joyful cry of the soldiers silenced the Jews' complaint. German soldier about the destruction of the Talmud Academy in Lublin. The Czartoryski collection in Krakow was one of the foremost art collections to be looted by Nazis. Ruska during the 18th century. In 1939, the collection included over 5,000 works of art and antiquities, including Czartoryski. On September 1st, 1939, Nazi Germany invaded Poland. No other single country during the Second World War would suffer as much from looting. On the Eastern Front, destruction and looting would follow one another. The war was characterized by systematic ruthlessness and cruelty, something that included the looting. Many of Poland's most important museums, libraries and collections were completely destroyed. Thousands of libraries, museums, castles, universities and private collections were plundered. Up to 90% of Poland's public libraries and school libraries were looted or destroyed. Looting by the Nazis would continue to the last days of the war. From all over Europe, the opening to the 1,000-year-old soul. In recent decades, the issue of attention. Since the late 1990s, museums, institutions, auction houses and collectors all over the world have returned tens of thousands of items that were looted during World War II. One case that has attracted a lot of attention is that of Gustav Klimt's painting, Portrait of Adele Bloch-Bauer I. The painting was stolen from the Bloch-Bauer family after Nazi Germany's annexation of Austria in 1930. The portrait of Adele. The Ghent altarpiece is a cabinet that was 15th century. During the war, the painting was stolen at Adolf Hitler's personal request from the Cathedral of St. Bavo in Ghent, Belgium, Webb Gallery of Art. The Ghent altarpiece was found after the war in the salt mine in Altaci in Austria. Whole societies and cultures had been devastated and